Hi guys. I'm a little nervous uploading this video because it's not something I've discussed much with anyone, but I thought sharing my experiences and struggles might be able to help someone else who might be going through something similar, since the only reason I was able to learn about this was because I've seen other people talk about it. To summarize, I currently believe I am at least somewhat cupioromantic, which is a subsection of aromantic. And this basically means that we have a desire for romantic relationships, but we don't actually experience any romantic feelings. Which logically doesn't make sense, and I completely understand that, but that's just how I felt for a pretty long time. This very long video is just me rambling on about my experiences with my feelings and confusion on crushes and dating from when I was young to even recent times. If you like to stay and listen to this like a podcast, get comfy and grab a snack or a drink. Also, if you have something you'd like to share or questions, please feel free to comment. Despite this being almost an hour long, I've definitely still left a lot out. Thanks again if you stuck around this far, and I'm even more grateful if you decide to stay for the whole thing. Bye. Hi. This is a video. I don't know if I'm going to be uploading this anywhere. Just need to get something out. And I need to talk. I need to do something while I talk, or else it's just sitting in front of the camera. I'm going to feel really awkward and my mind's just going to go blank. But basically, I learned a new word. Cupioromantic or something like that. It's basically having the desire to have a romantic relationship or like romantic feelings or something, but you can't feel it. That's something I felt for a while, and honestly I thought I was just weird and I didn't think it would be a very relatable experience for a lot of people. I've had so many times where I've googled, can aromantic people desire romantic feelings? Because that's what I was struggling with. I was like, I don't think I'm aromantic because I want romantic feelings. I want a romantic experience, but I just can't feel it. And sorry, I'm sick. That's why my voice is like going away too. And I know a part of me is also like, maybe I'm just being really like over dramatic. Like, this is not a concrete conclusion that I've gone with. It's just the most accurate word to describe how I feel at the moment and how I've been feeling for a while. And I know if I tell people this in my private life, they'll just be like, maybe you just haven't found the right person yet. Because I am young. I'm in my very early 20s. I've got so much to experience. I can't just, be like, yeah, well, I am this, and I'll just never be able to feel it like all the other people in my life. I'm holding out hope that I, just haven't met the person yet. Haven't met the right person yet to sweep me off my feet. It's just nice to finally be like, oh, so there is a word for this. And there are other people who kind of feel that way. This is also kind of why I'm like, maybe I'll do a little video talking about it, because, I haven't seen many people talk about it, and I've seen a little bit, and that's like kind of helped me realize there is a word for what I'm feeling. It's because people have actually talked about it. And so if me talking about it helps someone, then that'd be good. My whole childhood, I'm still a child, but when I was in primary school, I had a crush, which is weird, right? But even though I had a crush, I didn't know what anything meant. I didn't know what dating really was, but I didn't want to do that anyways. Like, yeah, I had a crush on this guy. Everyone had a crush on this guy. But even if in a world where that person liked me back, I didn't feel like I wanted to go out with them, mainly because I wasn't allowed to. That helped me kind of push that not desire, that would be weird, but like the interest in like being boyfriend and girlfriend with the person I like. I wasn't allowed to because I was too young, which makes sense. But yeah, it was also like quite an irrational crush, and I say irrational because, or like I'm bringing this up that it was irrational, it's because I like my friends, when I tell my friends that I haven't had a crush since primary school, like there isn't anyone that I'm like interested in, they ask about my type, and or like they ask me why I liked this person, just to like gauge what I could like right now. And so it doesn't help that my crush back in primary school was an irrational one, because I can't pick out a specific personality trait that really drew me to be attracted to him. Like, I have a like a joke with one of my friends that he just had really nice eyes, but obviously having really nice eyes wasn't the reason why I liked them. So I don't know why I like him. I can't put that into me finding someone now, like a personality trait that I really liked when I was younger. I can't find that now because I don't know what I liked about him in the past. And then in high school, throughout my entire high school, which was 6 years, I didn't have a crush on anyone. Again, the closest I had was with a new friend that was like, we were starting to get to know each other as friends. And then I think one time my brother was like, do you have a crush on anyone, Kelly? Just like, I guess older sibling things, wanting to know. And back then, even just mentioning crush, I'd get all giddy. Like, I'd get really shy about that topic when I was younger. And so I couldn't hide my smile. And my brother kind of took that as, yeah, I had a crush. Obviously anyone would, to be honest. I just get really shy of that topic back then. I don't know why. And so I couldn't be like, no, but even I'm like smiling and like being all shy and giddy. So I had to find a name. Like, the first person that came up to my head was the friend that, like, my newest friend that I was getting to know. And so he got all excited or whatever. And then after I said his name, everything just like, I don't know what it was like a switch in me. And I was like, I actually feel nothing for this guy. Like, that's mean. I don't feel the romantic feelings that I thought I did with this guy when I said his name out loud to my brother when he asked if I had a crush on anyone. But I couldn't just be like, no, I'm just kidding, because no one would believe me. So I kind of just let my brother keep believing that, and I was in my head like, this isn't right. Like, I thought, like, just, I don't know what it was. Like, after I said his name out loud, everything just turned off, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a little strange, but whatever. And then, I actually don't know the exact timeline, but I think for the sake of this, I'll say like a couple weeks later. Turns out this guy had a crush on me. And when he told me, I felt really bad because well, first of all, I thought he was joking. Because we were friends and I thought he was just joking around. Turns out he wasn't, and I felt really bad. Yeah, I told him that I didn't feel the same way. We were still friends, but not as close as we used to be, which was fine. Things kind of happen. So throughout my entire high school life, that would kind of happen a lot, but more so like guys would like say they like me, and then I'd feel really bad because I don't feel anything for them, and they're really nice guys, and I just feel really bad because out of everyone, they had to like the one person that couldn't feel the same thing for them. And it sucked for both of us because I never like rejecting people, and no one likes to be rejected. And so at one point I was like, if anyone in the future ever has a crush on me, I hope they move on, because 9 out of 10 chances, well, at this point it's like a 99% chance, it's just not gonna work out because I don't have any feelings. I don't know what it feels like. I don't know what romantic attraction is. And a lot of the love that I have, like I can give love. I can give love, I can feel love, but all of that is like familial, like family love and platonic love, because that's kind of the only love that I have not so much like witnessed, but like fully experienced and received. I received a lot of love from my parents, obviously, my family, and my friends. And so that's the only love that I can give. And obviously that's a different type of love that you'll give to a romantic partner. And I don't understand how to give that. And I don't know how I'm supposed to give that kind of love. Like the affection I give to my friends, a lot of it stems from how my mom gives affection to me and my brother and my dad. Like she has so much unconditional love for us that's the only way that I can also show appreciation and stuff to the people in my life. And maybe that's not so different if I give it to a romantic partner. But I don't know how to develop those feelings to be interested in someone romantically in the first place. Like I can give the love, but I don't know how to feel that kind of romantic love to someone. For a while, I thought I was just a romantic. But then I was also like, that's can't be right, because I want to feel it. Like I want to experience that love. Okay, I'm saying love a lot, like romance. I want to experience romance too. I think from my understanding, aromantic people were quite indifferent to it. Don't quote me on that 100%. I'm not too sure if that's true. That's just from my understanding, and that's just why I've always kind of denied fully being aromantic and asexual, because like I have a desire for it. Like I want to know what it feels like. I want to give it out to people. I haven't. And I know, you're so young, maybe you just haven't found the right person yet. And it is hard because I'm not the type of person to go out and meet new people like that. I've tried dating apps. I tried Tinder, but I don't know why I tried Tinder. Tinder was not my crowd, because I'm not the type to like go out and have that type of fun. And I'm sure some people go on Tinder to find like meaningful connections and stuff, but there's so many different dating apps nowadays that I don't think they really use Tinder for a meaningful connection. They'll probably use something else. And so my friend was like, why don't you try Hinge? So I had Hinge for maybe about 5 months, and when I first tried it, I, had my fun just matching with people, messaging them and stuff, and it was a fine experience. It wasn't anything like crazy. I didn't want to like take it too seriously, because if I took it really seriously, I'd probably be really let down. I didn't want to have my expectations too high. I was just really casual with it. I turned my notifications off for the app. I usually do that for like dating apps and stuff. I had other dating apps in the past as well, and I've always turned my notifications off because I'm living with my family. I can't have them look at my phone when notifications come up and then have my brother be like, who's that? What is this? So I have notifications off. And also, like, I don't want to think about it too much. When I have these dating apps, I don't want, like, my mind constantly on it. So, yeah, I generally just turn notifications off, and then I, like, when I'm bored, or usually just like at the end of the day, I'm like about like just scrolling on my phone for whatever before I go to sleep. I like pop in the app and see if there's any messages or if there's any other like matches up I want to scroll through. For the first month or so, I was on it. I was matching with people, I was talking to people. I still found it really hard to like genuinely find a connection, especially if it's like just through an app that we're messaging on, like messaging online and stuff. I don't know how. I guess it's just for some people, and it's really just not for me. Getting to know someone from texting them, like meeting them online and then texting them online, I don't know. Like, for some people, it just really makes sense. Like, they can really connect well with people that they meet online and stuff. I don't know. I just never was able to do it. Like, all our conversations were very, like, standard. Do you study? What do you study? Do you work? Where do you work? What are some movies you like? What are some hobbies you like? What do you like to do in your free time? Like, it's very standard conversation, which, I mean, that's just how you know, get a conversation going. But I guess I'm just really not built for that because I got really bored. But in saying that, I'm like also part of the problem because I didn't ask any like interesting questions either. Like, I just replied, or sometimes I would also go through that default of questions because I don't know what to say. Part of me also getting that dating app was to help learn how to make conversations with people because I've always just not really talked to people. Or like meeting new people, I've always been really shy and like, I guess not reclusive, I don't think that's the word, but like I just kept to myself a lot and I wouldn't, I always, even now, like even after using a dating app, it's hard for me to keep a conversation going. Like, I would listen really, really hard, but half of me listening is also me listening too hard for like things to pick up on and ask about. Conversing with people is hard. Like, I've made new friends, but I still find it really hard to make conversations and stuff. And a lot of my new friends now, past and new actually, a lot of my friends now, it's because they've initiated the conversation with me, and it's very rarely me initiating the conversation with them and then wanting to, you know, keep in contact with them. A lot of the times it's them initiating first. And I thought maybe having dating apps could help me kind of practice leading a conversation or like keep a conversation going. I don't think it worked very well. Because if anything, it kind of just drained me. It made me feel even more weird about myself. Like, oh, I genuinely don't feel anything. And I'm really, like, I don't want to waste either of our times if this conversation is leading nowhere. And so, yeah. And then at some point as well, this is like a little deeper. I'm sharing too much. But this was more so when I was in high school. Like, in my final year of high school, I had a friend who was using another dating app, and she recommended it to me. And obviously these dating apps, I wasn't, back then when I was using dating apps, it was just to talk to people. I never really used them to like actually schedule a meetup because I don't want to meet strangers online. Even till now, I was like, I'm gonna do it, but I'm really forcing myself to do it. But so back then I was like, yeah, no stakes, I'm not gonna meet them. I'll just like keep making up excuses that I'm not gonna meet any of them online. But yeah, at one point I just felt really, really like low about myself. Like, my self-confidence was plummeting down while I was using those dating apps, and it wasn't like, yeah, I was using a dating app for validation, but I wasn't getting that validation, so my self-esteem and my insecurities was like going way off, going crazy. That really, really sucked. And I would tell my friends, and they're like, don't worry about it too much. They'll cheer me up and kind of pull me out of that, really, really weird place that your mind gets you to. I was like, okay, maybe dating apps are just not my thing. Like, I shouldn't really do it. But my friends are like, just give it another try. So I gave it another try. And still, I really don't feel anything. And it gets, the weird part for me, like, this is when I start spiraling down into like a really, really, really weird place. It's like I'm just constantly like fighting with myself. Basically, it would be like I'm being really superficial, like judging these people. Obviously, like based on their looks from their profiles. I'm like, not that cute, not that cute, not that cute. And then I take a step back and I think about it. I'm like, maybe I'm judging these people too harshly, because who am I? Another average person judging these people against like whatever standard that I've conjured up in my head. And so then I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be this mean and like this judgy to people. And so then I don't swipe anymore, and then I look at the conversations and I'm like, I don't really want to talk to these people. But I swiped on them, so I should be wanting to talk to them. But I don't want to talk to any of these people, which is like, why would I swipe? And why would I, some of them I swiped first and then they would like match me, and none of us would start the conversation. And I'm like, why isn't this person talking to me? Why am I not talking to them? Like, why? And I start like asking myself these questions, and I'm like, but I really don't feel like wanting to do this. And so I'm like, why am I doing it in the first place? And so that's the whole thing of like, I just shouldn't be on it. Like, I clearly don't have the energy. I clearly don't have the desire to be on this app. I don't know why I'm forcing myself and making myself feel this way. Like, clearly I don't want to do this. So yeah, and then I start getting like, what? This is a really like another weird place that I've been in. This is like when I was in high school. The friend that introduced me to the app, she would tell me a lot of her stories of the guys that she'd meet and the guys that she's talking to on the app. And I'm like, how am I not getting that same experience? Like, I'm also on the app, I'm also talking to these people, but our conversations die off really quickly and we just like end up ghosting each other, or like we don't have a conversation at all, and we're just like, it's almost like you're just window shopping of like a sea of people. So yeah, I was like, is there something wrong with me? I can't make conversations with people. All I do is swipe, and then that's about it. Something's wrong. Something's not right. I explained this really, really badly, so let me explain it quicker and hopefully clearer. Basically, my relationships with dating apps had never really worked out because I usually end up at a point where I overthink everything and my thoughts spiral out of control when I criticize my every move. For example, when I would swipe and vainly judge people on their profiles, I'll begin to imagine these people judge me and my profile the same way, which I didn't like the idea of, so obviously, treat others how you want to be treated, right? I would try to not be as judgy, but at the same time, that meant I didn't really have a standard anymore, and I still end up just swiping left on pretty much everyone. Another example is about the conversations I'd have with those that I did, end up matching with. As I felt the conversation would be boring, I'd tell myself that this should be what I wanted because I matched with them. And I'd basically guilt trip myself into staying on the app and continue to use it because I wanted to try to have somewhat of a romantic experience. And my lack of romantic feelings really messed with my head. Additionally, with the boring conversations, I started to believe I was just unentertaining. I wasn't built to have a conversation with people or like continue conversations, and especially I was not built to start and initiate conversations. This is something I'm still working on, but other than that, I'm genuinely okay. For my friends who are listening to this, really, I am okay. There's no need to worry at all. Anyways, hope this clears up what I was trying to say.
I sound really ungrateful. I have really, really good friends. They've been really supportive. If I do post this and they see this, they will 100% message me about it and like try to cheer me up. But it's okay, guys. I'm okay. I don't feel that way anymore. I'm just waiting at this point. I'm waiting for my turn. Like, I do relate to the meaning of that word, Cupid something romantic. I am holding out hope that I can feel that way. I just haven't found that person who makes me feel that way. And I mean, I don't know when I will meet that person. Surely it's not impossible. Maybe I can just fake it till I make it, right? Does that apply here? I have been on a date before though. Like this year, I really tried to go outside of my comfort zone. And I told myself that I would go. Because this guy was one of the only guys that I talked to more than a day. Like, the conversation would end and then the next day a new conversation would start, kind of thing. But throughout that entire time, I think we were talking about a week or two, like texting each other for about a week or two, and we had a call once. Throughout that time, I didn't really feel any of like the butterflies. I didn't really feel any of like the initial like an attraction to him, which is sad because he wasn't a bad guy. There wasn't anything wrong with him. I just didn't feel anything. I don't want to say I hurt him because that might seem like I'm just assuming that he had feelings for me, and I didn't want to assume that because I don't think we really said anything about it. A lot of my friends are convinced that he did feel something, which I mean, I guess, because we did talk to each other for a bit. Like, if he didn't feel anything either, I think he probably would have ghosted me, or like ended not talk to me as much as he did. But yeah, I felt really bad, basically, because we were talking for a bit. He was really sweet, okay? It's really nice. I just didn't feel anything. I felt really bad and I felt broken. So when we had a call, we played a game over a call, and throughout the whole time, it just felt like I had the nerves of just like meeting someone for the first time and talking to someone, a complete stranger that I didn't know, and I had to like spend time with them. That just made me nervous, and it wasn't like a, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. It was like a, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Kind of nerves. On the days following the date, I was telling a lot of my friends, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I kind of, wouldn't it be so funny if I backed out? Which sounds really mean. I genuinely, I was so like, what am I doing? I didn't feel anything for this guy. Now I have to hang out with him for I don't know how many hours. Just us. Like, I was more like anxious than excited. Again, sounds really mean to the guy. But that's just genuinely how I felt. And you know what? It wasn't a bad first date. I'm saying all of this like it was a horrible, it ended up being horrible. It wasn't. It was a great date. It was a fine day. We met up, walked around, shopped around, had some food, walked around again, and then we did karaoke, which a lot of my friends judge me for, which is, yeah, I mean, karaoke on the first day, but I don't know what else to do. It was a fine day. It was like an average day that I would do with hanging out with my regular friends. And I think that was one of the problems that I kind of fell into for myself, because a way to calm my nerves, I just kept telling myself, like, oh, I'm just meeting up with a friend for the first time. Like, I kept telling myself that to calm myself down so that I didn't get too, like, awkward and nervous and flustered on the day, because I really can't just meet someone new like that. Like, I was, like, everything going against it. I was like, I can't do this. So, but I didn't want to bail on him. I didn't want to just be like, hey, sorry, actually, I'm not feeling it. Like, that would be mean. I'm like, I'm going to follow through with this at least once, like, really, really step outside of my comfort zone, because I've never been on a date before. So, I'm like, I'm going to do this. I went, convinced myself that it would be fine. I'm just meeting up with a friend. And so it didn't really feel like how like a film, or like how people usually depict first dates, where they're like really giddy and excited and like every little thing just makes them really like flustered. I didn't feel that. I was just really aware of like, this is a date, but also I don't feel anything. I told him the next day that I wasn't feeling it anymore. I thought I'd rather say something, especially because we did meet up. Like, he deserves that at least. And also, might as well tell him right away than like drag it on after a week of ghosting him. Like, I don't want to waste either of our times. So told him that. This was back in like March, and since then I talked to another guy, but I wasn't feeling it anymore. Like, for a while I wasn't feeling it anymore, and I saw a thing where someone was talking about how like a conversation doesn't even, like, it sucks when a conversation doesn't feel like a conversation. It's just you guys replying to each other, and that's what it felt like between me and the other guy that I was talking to. Like, our messages to each other would be like hours apart, and it would just be us replying to whatever was said previously. It would just be one long conversation. It wasn't like a conversation and then the next day a new conversation kind of thing. So I was like, I don't think either of us are really feeling this. So I'm just gonna end this here for the both of us. And because we didn't meet and we didn't call, it was just us talking to each other, I ghosted him. And then after that, this was like April, I think. Around April when I stopped, like mid-April, almost end of April, that I stopped talking to him. And now I'm filming this start of July, and I haven't talked to anyone. I deleted my Hinge. I'm not on any dating apps. I don't think I'm gonna go on any more dating apps. I don't think a new dating app is gonna do anything for me. Especially, like, it's not gonna change how I feel. It's not gonna change how I think. It's not gonna change how I see anything. Getting a new dating app just seems like another hassle, setting up a new profile. I was telling my friend just like yesterday before I deleted the app, because I first thought my problem was that my profile was a little outdated, because I was on Hinge, right? And the prompts that I had, this was when I had it in like, when I first made it in like February, and so a lot of the prompts was like whatever I thought of on the spot. My friend was helping me make the prompts, so, you know, whatever they thought, I kind of just added in. Anyways, I like, when I would update my profile, usually it would just to change pictures, but then I realized changing these pictures didn't really do anything, because the guys would just like the picture and then I don't know what else. What would we say after that? The prompts that I did have, I realized I didn't want to talk about them anymore. I could not care less about my prompts anymore. And if I didn't care about them, the guys that I'm attracting that want to talk about them, that I wouldn't reply to, because I was so sick of talking about them. Like, one of my prompts, I forget what the actual prompt is, but something to do with like karaoke. That's why I went to karaoke on my first date, because one of them was like about singing karaoke. And a lot of the conversation starters would be like, what's your go-to song karaoke? All the songs, I don't care. Whatever I can think of on the day. And so I started getting really like indifferent about karaoke, like what songs I sing in karaoke and my go-to songs. I haven't thought about my go-to songs. I don't think I have really any go-to songs. The other one I had was Genshin Impact. I think it was like Don't Hate Me If, and then I filled in a blank of me saying I play Genshin Impact. A lot of the conversation with then, the guys would be like, oh, who do you mean? What 5 stars do you have? Are you excited for this new update? I haven't played that game in so long. Oh my gosh, how much have you spent? Blah blah blah, like general questions about the game, right, to start a conversation going. I realized I don't want to talk about Genshin anymore. I don't want to talk about it. I haven't, and it's also mostly because I haven't really played the game in a while. So I've lost interest in the game, and so I'm like, I don't really want to talk about that game either. Or the other option would be, if it wasn't about Genshin, they would reply to it with like another game that I should play, like League or like Valorant. It was mostly Valorant. And I know nothing about Valorant. I played it one time with some friends and it scared me forever and I don't want to play it again. So I thought, maybe it's my prompts. Maybe the guys that I'm attracting, I'm not into because of my prompts. And so I was like, okay, let's, revamp my profile a little bit. Let's add some new prompts in. And I would scroll through the prompts and I realized I don't have anything else to share. I don't have anything else I want to talk about. Sorry, Hinge, but these prompts, I don't know what to say. And some of my friends who do have Hinge as well, they don't take the prompts very seriously, which also, like, that's a great idea. I know I'm not alone in this. I don't think people in my private life will kind of believe that I'll be this way forever, which is great. I also hope I'm not this way forever. I'm thinking maybe I should just start a trope. Just do that trope where I get someone to teach me, or like I hire a boyfriend. And then all the romantic things that they do to me makes me fall in love, and then we fall in love. Maybe that's the only way I can feel it, if someone directly does it to me and from the close proximity, I fall in love with them. Goodness. It has to be someone good looking. I had an ongoing joke with my friend and I back in high school, because my friends would have crushes in high school and I wouldn't. I had this one friend in particular, I'm sorry that I am exposing you, but they would have like a new crush, like seemingly every other week. That's a bit of an exaggeration, like every other month they'd have a new crush. And I'm like, how do you do it? How do you just have feelings for so many people, so many different people? How do you just find them attractive like that? And they're like, I'm so sick of this feeling. Like, how do you not find anyone attractive like that? And I'm like, And so we always kind of joke that we should just swap with each other for a day. If there's technology that lets us do that, please, I would love to try. I really, really want to know what it feels like to have a crush on someone. I've heard that it sucks. It also seems so cute. I've developed a really bitter feeling towards romance, like shoujo, because that shit is too cute and I can't feel it. And especially the high school ones, or like the college ones, university ones, when it's like cute shenanigans happening in the classroom. I can't feel that anymore. I can't experience that anymore. I guess the next closest thing would be like workplace romance, but I don't want a workplace romance. I don't necessarily want to fall in love with my co-workers. That's also another thing, like I'm currently part-time somewhere, and there has been instances where a co-worker has not expressed, but I could feel that they want to be more romantically involved, and I'm like, not happening. Firstly, because we're co-workers, and I don't want to date a co-worker. And second of all, again, I thought we were vibing. I thought we were just friends. I thought we were chilling as friends. I didn't think that also meant we could be something more. But it's okay. That's just how I feel at the moment. I crave romance in my life, but if I can't feel it, then there's no point. I mean, I'm not the only one that hasn't, experienced these things yet. I think. Honestly, I don't know. But yeah, TLDR, I think most likely currently I am Cupid romantic. That's not the word for it, but it is those two words combined, I'm pretty sure. Basically, I have the desire to feel romance and have romantic experiences, but I don't feel it. I don't experience it. Every time my friends have romantic experiences happening to them, I get giddy for them. Like, not as much as them as well, but it's like, it's so sweet to see them react that way. And then if I think about it too long, I get sad that I haven't felt that way. I want that giddy feeling. Like, that seems so cute. That just makes life seem so much more interesting. I'm also not too, worried right now, because it's not like every single one of my friends is in a relationship, and I'm not. A lot of my friends are. A lot of my friends have crushes right now, are interested in someone. A lot of my friends are in a relationship, but also a lot of them are single with me. One of them also hasn't dated, so I'm not entirely alone. No, a couple of them actually. I don't think they've ever dated either. So it's not like I'm literally the only one that, has never dated, hasn't had a romantic encounter. I don't know if I'm the only one that just doesn't have that feeling. Like, maybe they've had crushes before. Maybe they've been interested in someone before. I haven't. And that was my main concern. I can't feel that way, and I don't know how to feel that way. I can't just, who do I mimic it to either? I don't have anyone to test it out on. So, that has been my hour-long rant, because I don't know who else to say this to. I don't think this will go anywhere. I'm just going to delete it right after I record it. But that's it. Bye.